All right, welcome back. And now we're joined with Sarah Ann Shanahan, the Democratic candidate for the 50th Assembly District. She is currently running against the Republican incumbent, is it Ed Woods, I believe? No, I'm sorry.
Ed Brooks.
Ed Brooks, thank you. My apologies to Ed Brooks and that. And I just want to have a conversation interview here today with Sarah. Sarah, tell us first, why did you first decide to get involved in this race?
Well, I currently work as the clerk of the town of Fountain.
Okay.
One of the things I've noticed as the clerk, and especially at the local level of government, is it doesn't matter your ideology. We respect each other, we utilize areas of common ground, and we develop joint solutions that move us forward. And I expect the same to happen in Madison. I mean, as a legislator, your job is to work with all of your colleagues in Madison on policy that works for people of this state. And so I'm running because I'm committed to moving us forward and working on policy that benefits everybody rather than catering to party politics or special interests.
What do you see as the top one or two big issues that you'll be facing here in this campaign and if elected in the next 2 years?
Well, I think there's a lot of issues that need to be tackled here in the state for sure. I'm really interested in doing a better job with open and good government issues for sure. I just recently interviewed with the Wisconsin State Journal, and we were surprised with the question about redistricting, for example. Every 10 years we go through this redistricting process, and I think it's really to our detriment to let the legislators and partisan politics take over that process, because districts get skewed in such a way to strengthen an incumbent or strengthen the parties, and we end up with really actually less moderate candidates because we have less competitive districts. So I really am in favor of something that Senator Schultz, Dale Schultz, our senator in the area, was proposing to make that an independent process and have a third party handle the redistricting rather than the legislature.
And would that be like a board that would be appointed by perhaps the governor or by the legislature? How does Senator Schultz given any details on how that might work?
I'm not clear on all the details, although I think there's lots of options. Some people have suggested that the Government Accountability Board do that. Others have suggested that the Legislative Council do that. I think the Legislative Council is probably a better choice because it's bipartisan. It's a makeup of both parties. The Government Accountability Board is an appointed board.
Okay. As you know, there's a lot of political fatigue here in Wisconsin, given everything that's gone the last couple of years. How do you begin to battle through some of that partisanship and reach out to people, whether in your party or another party? How do you go about doing that? What are some constructive steps you can take to begin that process?
It seems kind of silly, but honestly, the best thing you can do is just go and talk to people and build relationships with people. Get to know your colleagues. I mean, these are people you're going to have to work with. And so to say that you're not going to go talk or work with the Republicans because they're not part of your party is just really silly, in my opinion.
Okay. What do you see as far as the economy and jobs are always big issues right now? Do you get a lot of people talking to you about those issues when you're on the campaign trail, or is there something else that they're talking about?
Oh, economy and jobs are definitely really important. I'm from Juneau County. We're one of the poorest counties in the state, and we desperately need jobs. One of the things I'm really interested in is expanding manufacturing especially, and I think we can do that through producing more clean energy here in Wisconsin. We don't have any coal, oil, or natural gas in the state, so we spend between $15 and $21 billion a year importing these energy sources. There was a study done just a couple of years ago that looked at what the impact would be on manufacturers, existing manufacturers in the state, if we were producing more clean energy, if we were putting in more digesters or solar panels or wind, whatever it is. And in Richland, Juneau, and Sauk counties, there's 2 other counties in the district too, but these make up a majority of them. We have a potential to create almost 500 manufacturing jobs from existing manufacturers like Grady Foundries, and to bring in over $70 million in investment. And I think that's a really good step forward.
How do we go about, especially does the state legislature have any role in promoting manufacturing in the various counties, especially like in Juneau County? Is there a role for the government to play? And if so, what is that?
Well, I think in the context that I was just speaking of, it's really creating the demand for that energy. We really are dependent on coal and oil in this state. And while I'm not suggesting that we just eliminate them immediately, I think we really need to start taking some significant transition steps to move us in that direction. Produce more here in state, create more demand in state, because I think that's going to be better for the people of this.
Okay. One last issue I want to talk about, and it's been the issue in Juneau County, transmission lines. What are your thoughts about, I know there's been a lot of issues about whether or not they should even have a transmission line even going through western Wisconsin, which would run through Juneau County. Any thoughts about that? I suppose you have people talk to you about that as well in Juneau County?
Definitely a hot issue in Juneau County right now. I've gone to a few of the meetings and I've met a few of the activists. There's definitely a growing number of people who are joining this movement, including our senator, again, Dale Schultz and Jen Schilling have really stepped up and taken leadership here. The issue for the folks on the ground is, ATC has come in and said, all right, where do we want to put this line? And the residents and the people of the county are going, wait, let's slow down here. Do we need this line? Wisconsin doesn't need power right now. We're selling power. Is there, what's the point of this? And do we need lines that are going to be, poles that are going to be 200 feet in the air? Or is it going to be sufficient to have something smaller and upgrade our existing transmission line? Okay. And right now, it's a really important phase of the process to do that, because right now we're in the public information phase. So ATC hasn't actually submitted their application yet to the PSC, to the Public Service Commission, who's ultimately going to be making the decision on this.
Well, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about that issue in the future, and I want to wish you all the best in the campaign, and thank you for coming and joining us today. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Right. We'll be back in just a moment, and Steve will be here with Marketing Sense, so stay tuned.